What's going on, it's JTLive, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Stories, the series goes to go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United, and we have a little talk about it, and there's been a lot to talk about today. Most of all, the fallout from last night and the whole sinister debacle, and I'm sure we'll touch on that in just a moment. And of course, Leeds United playing Sheffield Wednesday today, which ended in a drab 0-0 draw. Not the most inspiring game of all time, I do have to put it that way. It did flatter to the sea for certain motions of the game. Leeds looked unable to really create too much, to really kick into gear. There were times where it seemed a bit flat, a bit lethargic at times, but nowhere near as bad as the Birmingham game a couple of weeks ago. And not just because we conceded that last minute penalty in the game, but just because at least in this game Leeds showed sparks of energy. There were 5 to 10 minute patches where Leeds looked like, okay, we could create something here, we could cause some danger. And Somerville had a nice chance where he intercepted it and it was flicked on by Rutter, and Rutter had a couple of good chances. A couple of great balls played in by Somerville. Shackleton and Nonto down the left-hand side looked like they could create something, but every time it seemed to be Shackleton's final ball or ball back, which kind of cost him. Even though I think Shackleton was alright, and I especially think he was pretty good against Ipswich when he came on. It wasn't, he's not a phenomenal left back. Let's be real here. It's that final ball, that final cross that seems to let him down. And that's because he's just not a natural in that position. And that's understandable. He's been shoehorned in there. And unfortunately, we don't have an actual left back there now without Byram and without Farke. We don't have an actual left back there. So we are going to have to deal with him. But those are just little niggling issues, shall we say. A couple of pet peeves. But really, the severity of the issue comes down to decisions from Daniel Farke, if you ask me. He should have made a lot more changes, and he should have made them earlier. We could all see that Perot was not working in that number 10 role. That is for sure evident, key. Stevie Wonder could see that Perot was not working out in that number 10 role. He is not good in tight spaces. He's someone that needs the ball to feet, with space in front of him. He needs to have the ball within the 18-yard box where he can finish. He's not good with his back to goal. He's not good in these kind of tight positions and weaving in and out and spraying balls around, a little one-touch tappy football. He's not good there. And he couldn't even find space anyway. He couldn't find space in a 12-acre plot of land. It was very tough to watch him try and play in that number 10 role there. And I don't know why we persevered for it for so long. We kept him there the entirety of the game. Why not put him out of the team, put Somerville into the attacking midfield role, put Poveda at right wing? I know if we had Sinistera, that's something that we could have done, and it would have been phenomenal. Had Sinistera one wing, Somerville in the middle, and Nonto on the other side. Would have been perfect. We don't have him. I understand it. But Poveda's still a good option to put out there. If not, even put Rutter on one of the wings, Nonto on the other, Somerville in the 10, and Perot up top. We could have even done that. There's a plethora of things we could have done, but instead we persevered with what ended up being a passenger in the number 10 role, and it's part of a big reason as to why we didn't really create too much. If I'm going to look at one big issue within our play and within what Farke did with the team, it is Perot for me. It just wasn't working, and I'm not throwing him under the bus because he's just got here, and I don't want to completely say he's done at Leeds United. But I'm really intrigued to hear what you guys have to say about this, because for me, I thought it was extremely questionable. The way that we operated with Perot in there, just from a personal standpoint at least. As for the other issues, I saw a lot of people throwing a lot of slack at Rutter. I thought Rutter, for me, listen, yes, in front of goal, his finishing needs to improve. His decision-making needs to improve. Which foot to use, when to use it, how to open his body up. Should he strike it low? Should he lift the keeper? These kind of quick decisions that he's making, they're doing it wrong. Especially after he missed about 10 one-on-ones against Salford the other day to go ahead and perform the way he did today. It's questionable. But having said that, he was still extremely energetic. He started to press off well. He opened space up for others. He had some good link-up play with Somerville in there. A couple of times Somerville played him in. He had a one-on-one, good opportunity. A couple of times where he actually played Somerville in. Little 1-2 there. And it it was connecting well at times. Again, in patches. In patches, he would get lost and he wouldn't be that effective. But in patches, he just has that little bit of pace, that bit of energy about him, that bit of spark. And, you know, the main problem you have with the striker is not when he's missing chances and getting them. It's when he's not getting the chances at all. That's when you got a problem with the striker. At least Rutter, you look at the Salford game, you look at this game, he's getting a few chances. Yeah, is he taking them? No. But at least he's getting them, and eventually you would expect the ball to find its way in the back of the net. And we did see with the goal he scored against Ipswich, he has quality. He does have great quality. Now, whether you think he'd be better suited out wide or up front, you know, that's up to you. And if Bamford comes back, and maybe we get touch wood, we don't. But if we did get an injury or something to the wing roles, maybe he could feature out there. Or maybe we try Perot up front. I don't know. But the way the striking formation right now is working, or the personnel in the formation, we're just losing too much having Perot in that number 10 role. So how we persevere with Rutter going forward, I don't know. But I think people are a bit too critical on him, which is obviously going to happen. You know, when you're the number 9, all the pressure does lie on your shoulders. But I don't have too much of a problem with him. I thought Somerville and Gnonto, as you'd expect, phenomenal. Our two best players on the pitch, by far. Gnonto, a couple of great reverse passes in there. At the beginning of the game, I thought he was a bit frustrated. Maybe he was a bit angry that Sinistero maybe forced his move out and he wasn't able to. But, you know, throughout the game, he was very good. And so was Somerville. I love Somerville so much, man. He's so good. So good. Those two are amazing, you know, as you'd expect. Kamara got a little bit of a run out. Thought he was decent. But again, I don't know why we didn't bring him on earlier. I don't know why we didn't just try and change things up earlier. We waited until the 80th minute to make a change. And the first time we did it was a fullback coming on. And it was Jed Spence. And you know what? I have to say, at least Jed Spence, you know, injected a little bit of life in there. A little bit of energy. I have to say, there are times when he's on the ball and he needs to pass or he needs to do something in tight spaces, but he's so gangly and awkward with the way he runs. It's like he's tripping over his feet sometimes. But having said that, he's very good at winning the ball back. The second he came on, he tracked back about 30 yards, blistering pace, made an interception, then dove forward or rather tripped forward and blocked the ball with his head. Started off very well, you know, great first thing in there. And he earned a couple of fouls because he is strong, he is quick, and he is able to hold players off and draw fouls and do these kind of things. So I do think Jed Spence, you know, looks like a promising acquisition from what we got at least. Although the only thing I would like to say, I'd like it if he could use his left foot, you know, instead of doing these flipping outside of the foot, right foot crosses into the box, you know, learn to use your left foot a little bit. That, you know, that's nitpicking anyway. But I think there are positives in this for Leeds. Like I said, I'm still not 100% sure on what Daniel Farke's style of play is, personally. I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm waiting to see because, as I've said, most of our goals or most of the good things I've seen have been just individual moments of quality from Leeds. And I'm yet to see what his actual proper, unique style of play with these players is. And as we just discussed before, the formation needs a little bit of tweaking with the personnel that we have. But overall, you know, not amazing, not too inspiring, especially after the way that everything happened last night with Sinistera, Jaden Anthony coming in. Maybe Jaden Anthony can come in and you know, really shock a lot of people. But for me, I don't think he's that higher of a caliber of player over someone like Poveda. You know, I think maybe he's a little bit better than Poveda. But, you know, questionable if he's that much better. He's definitely not a patch on what Sinistera was. And I'm gutted to lose Sinistera. I really am, especially the manner it happened. If we were going to lose him, at least lose him a little bit earlier and get Pencil in or something. But, you know, maybe if we did lose him, it would have pushed Gnonto to push for a move even more. Who knows? Who knows what could have happened? But, hey-ho, if you'd asked me at the beginning of the transfer window or told me that we'd managed to keep 2 of the 3 and we'd only lose 1 of them by the end of the window, then, you know, I would have bit your hand off probably at that, or I would have been relatively happy at that. But, nonetheless, you know, it's happened now. We're going to have to persevere with the squad that we've got, and hopefully things can start to improve, you know, because there are promising spells in it. It's just, you know, there's certain patches where we really need to improve, and we should be putting a bang average team like Sheffield Wednesday, who are winless in their last 5 to the sword. But, you know, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys thought about everything, though, down in the comment section down below. Do you think I was speaking facts? Do you think I was waffling? Please let me know down in the comment section down below. But for now, guys, onwards and upwards for Leeds United. We will see you very soon. We'll be there next week. Be there or be square for our next match. We're here every single championship game of the season. 46 game campaign. We're here live for every single one. So, let me know you guys thought anyway down in the comment section down below. For now, guys, I will see you very soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my sisters.